Shuba duba die. This blessed country, O land of beauty, I pray for thee. Some people have that wrong philosophy that politicians can save a country. They never try and do it spiritually. And now the system exploding on we. The country in a recession, a big change from the old time religion. Mankind rewriting history in a modern but a bad version. We're living in our final days. Take a look and change your ways. For our beautiful country, going back to slavery days, only a prayer for the land can stop drug violence and crime. A prayer for the land, yes, these are the signs of the end of time. A prayer for the land, the price of living, man, is so high. A prayer for the land, that even the rich like the poor cry. You say you're concerned and care, we country living in fear, but all are we born right here. So let's say a prayer, the Almighty Father will hear. And I see,
share the Lord, share the Lord.
Shuba duba die. Oh God Almighty, show some mercy on this our country. Moral standard gone way down the drain. Little children using rum, crack and cocaine. It seems like wicked-itions gone insane, and everyone playing the dirty game. Too much guns and drugs in the country, owned by Tom, Dick and Harry. But if you're wrong, you must pay for it. For the law, no one above it. Put an end to victimization, oppression, and segregation. It's not a good thing for this country, so let's try and wipe it out totally with a prayer for the land, of fire and brimstone go burn with it. A prayer for the land, some say they're picking out who should get paid. A prayer for the land, and that's why the prisoners burn down the jail. A prayer for the land, one day it must prevail. Please don't let this country become an next Haiti. No peace, no unity. Bow down humbly, the Almighty will answer it. Oh yeah.
Share the Lord, share the Lord.
Shuba duba die. Oh God Almighty, show some mercy on this our country. They now call we terror Paradise Island. No longer a country where peace abound. Yes, I used to boast about my land of beauty, the freest nation with democracy. But now we are the capital for drug pushers and money launderers. Shame and scandal is on we, take its name tarnish universally. Some blame it on the politicians for the unstabilized conditions. We going from bad to worse, our blessed country now cursed. But a prayer for the land will help us to live with other people. I pray for the land, for that's why the nation in big trouble. I pray for the land, united we stand, divided we fall. I pray for the land, citizens answer your duty call. Righteousness exalts the nation. The most I hate poor man depression. So I'm calling on everyone to take a stand. Take it, listen to my song. Did a bad over boy. Shuba duba die. What? This blessed country, oh land of beauty, I pray for thee.
Sound of the mighty Craig, the man King Craig. I pray for the land. I pray for the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. I'm DJ Mauricio, and I'm coming to you live and direct from my bunker here in the Republic of St. Paul, St. Kitts. Yes, another beautiful Wednesday afternoon here in the Republic of St. Paul's, and I'm happy to be in good health to come to you this evening, coming to you a little early in consideration of the CPL games that are taking place here in St. Kitts, which is scheduled to start at 7 p.m. So this evening I decided to go live from 5 to 7 to accommodate your online viewers and also to give the folks here in St. Kitts who wishes to go under their CPL, the opportunity to watch your CPL. So if you're just scrolling the web or social media and running to us, I'm DJ Mauricio, and I come to you weekly from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. As I said, this week we're coming a bit early. So let me drop this quick clip and let you know what this program is all about. Stand by.
Wednesday evenings are heating up. Log on to DJ Mauricio's Facebook Live broadcast every Wednesday evening from 6 to 8 p.m. It's a frank and candid exploration into the social, cultural, political, and economic issues affecting our federation. And just in case you missed it, you can also catch the broadcast on his YouTube channel, DJ Mauricio. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube and smash that bell. You will be notified whenever he goes live. DJ Mauricio, every Wednesday evening, Facebook 6 to 8 p.m. or thereafter on his YouTube channel, DJ Mauricio. Log on.
Yes, you got it right. Every Wednesday evening, I'm right here bringing the issues and the updates about our beloved federation, locally, regional, and internationally. So just pop in and check me on a Wednesday evening. Following this broadcast, you can find us on YouTube. Now let me hear my brother there across in the sister island, Nevis there, across the Narrows. The man Cabo have to say to us about his delicatessens there on Nevis.
Cabo's, located at Fountain Village in Nevis, is the go-to spot for your Saturday treats. Tantalize your taste buds with his delectable Cabo's Delicacy Goat Water. Or, if you prefer some soul food, then Cabo's Fungi and Fish is definitely the way to go. Call ahead and reserve at 869-663-9694. Then make your way over to Cabo's and enjoy the vibrant atmosphere while you savor your delicacy. Cabo's, we are not changing, we are only improving.
Food all over, food all over, you got the food all over.
Yes, you heard it right. That's my boy Cabo over there in Nevis. You got the food all over. So check my boy Cabo. Let him know DJ Mauricio sent you. Let's take a quick listen to Sister Carmen of Carmen Caterers.
Girl Sandra, you know where you can find nice fresh local food 7 days a week, one provision and all kind of thing. Girl, where? Right down there by Shellings, by Carmen Catering Services, girl, she opposite the bus stop. girl. And she also cater for weddings, parties, anything you want to cater for, funeral and all, girl. And trust me, you're gonna enjoy the food. And she also selling bites and Sundays. Opposite the car shop, right there in the main road. Girl, you could call 665-1494 or 663-6005 to order your food or go and pick up your food. Girl, the food will be finger licking and you get your money worth. You ain't want nothing better than that.
For sure, that's Sister Carmen. All the boys located Monday to Saturday there in the downtown Boston area, Michelle Lane, right across from the West Ferry Terminal from midday until about 5. On a Sunday afternoon, you can catch it there from midday until about 5 in the bus stop right across from the Ogawa shop there in Boyd's Village, St. Kitts. So check out Sister Carmen and let her know that DJ Marisha sent you. Let's take a quick listen to what my boy there, the man Malvern Gums from the Spectrum Band in St. Thomas, have to say about it.
Hey, this is Malvern from Spectrum Band, and you're listening to DJ Marisha, playing you the best in Caribbean music.
You got that?
Hey, this is Malvern from Spectrum Band, and you're locked into DJ Marisha. Keep it locked.
Right there. So my good people, good evening. As I said earlier, I come in a bit early this evening to accommodate the CPL. There's a lot to talk about, lots to say, lots of update that we need to be giving you here. We'll do our best this evening to bring it to you live and lively. But before we get into the main event for this evening, I think it's only fair that I give you something from my boy there. I think I have something from my boy Latumba. And this one is to liberate your mind. I think this one is. We need to get our mind liberated to all of the nonsense that is taking place around the world. We have heard the stories about the CBI situation there, what is taking place. I understand that there were some other matters that were filed in our local courts here by the MSR media folks. And I must say to the good folks there, the MSR media, thanks for coming out and representing the people of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, because without these legal matters, I don't think we'll be getting the information that we are getting. So I look forward to the end result of these cases and where they are. Whoever trying to bury them, I don't know, but my good people, I don't feel any sympathy for the people who might have been out there ripping off this country. So MSR, coming from DJ Marisha Production, DJ Marisha platform, thank you. So let's listen to the song before we drop right into the Dwyer Astafan commentary for today. Stand by. Let's liberate our minds this evening.
Oh, can we be liberated when we are so confused? This country is so divided. There are so many different views. Every finger's pointing away from its owner. We shouting blame and crying shame, but all are guilty just the same. Liberate your mind, my brethren. Liberate your mind, I say. Distrust and greed is keeping us back, crippling the state. We got to rise to the occasion and demonstrate to the world that we all are one, that we in this little country could live in love prosperity, prosperity for you and me.
Oh yeah! The man Latumba. Liberate your minds, my brothers and sisters.
Some campaigning, some dictating. Everybody want to control. There's no process for creating an awareness of greater social and economic goals. This system has got to go, or we will suffer more. The power only working for a society privilege you. So true. Liberate your mind, my brethren. Liberate your mind, I say. Distrust and greed is keeping us back, crippling the state. We got to rise to the occasion and demonstrate to the world that we all are one, that we in this little country can live in love and harmony, working for prosperity, prosperity for you and me. Oh yeah. Despite the differences our eyes have seen, we need political unity. Be ready to unite and to work, not fight. Stand up for justice and for right. Break down the barriers in this land. Stand between the working man who died so long, worked so hard, get so little out of life. Got it right. Liberate your mind, my brother. Liberate your mind, I say. Distrust and greed is keeping us back, crippling the state. We got to rise to the occasion and demonstrate to the world that we all are one, that we in this little country can live in love and harmony, working for prosperity, prosperity for you and me. Oh yeah.
Yes, that's the song of the man Latumba. We got to liberate our minds, brothers and sisters. Open up your minds and pay attention to what's taking place. St. Kitts and Nevis need all of us on deck right about now. All hands on deck. Let's hold the foot to the fire. Let's pay attention. You don't just take things and run with it because you support a political party. Let's pay attention to what's happening around us. The future depends on us. We got to make way for the youths to come, not thinking just about your selfish behavior, you know. Let's take a quick listen to my boy J. Dwyer Astafan commentary for today, Wednesday, September 4th, and hear what Dwyer have to tell us today. Stand by.
Greetings. Over 150 years ago, an English poet named George Banks wrote the following verse. It goes like this. For the cause that lacks assistance, for the wrong that needs resistance, for the future in the distance, and the good that I can do. Are you willing to offer your assistance, to stand up and speak out for what is right, even though you may be alone, and even though you may face rejection, ridicule, scorn, and worse? Are you willing to resist wrong that needs to be resisted in the interest of the people of your country and, of course, your children, present and future. I ask the Almighty every day to give me strength and willingness to do these things. And frail, failing, and flawed as I am, I try to assist when, where, and how I can in righteous causes. I try to resist wrongs which need to be made right, and I try never to lose sight of the well-being of our children and generations to come, the future of our country. I don't have delusions of grandeur. I don't carry an inflated self-image. I don't suffer from vaulting ambition. I don't thirst for popularity and fame. I just try. And it bothers me when I see and hear things which I believe are wrong, things that affect people's lives, especially on a large scale. It bothers me even more when I see people in positions of influence acting recklessly, incompetently, arrogantly, and selfishly as they abuse power, take advantage of people, and deceive. It bothers the hell out of me when people who are honored with positions of trust, especially on a public scale, betray that trust, and instead of being shepherds, they are wolves. And what bothers me most of all, when all of these bad things are done, is when so many of us stay quiet and do nothing. In my opinion, one of the greatest injustices committed against the people and good name of this country is the way in which our citizenship by investment program has been run by successive administrations with reckless and contemptuous mismanagement, greed and corruption. I've been voicing my concerns since 2006 when the SIDF was introduced, facing rebuke, ridicule, and abuse, and that has only gotten worse over the last 10 years or so, particularly the last 5 years. But none of that has stopped me, because I've known all along that what was happening was wrong. I was always hopeful that sooner or later the people of this country would realize that they have been royally screwed, and that they would find out in the courts of law and the court of public opinion who have been screwing them and for how much. It has also been my hope that by the time that point is reached, the standard of governance by decision makers and the standard of responsibility, reasonableness, and vigilance among our citizens are raised, so there will be no turning back to the badness days. The evidence will show that what has gone on has been evil, not just bad, not just incompetent, but evil. And we are now on the verge of finding out. Of course, if they have their way, we won't find out anything more, because one of the things that some of them are now doing is trying to claim in the US court that they are immune from civil RICO action because of their diplomatic status and other things. That will turn out, in my opinion, to be little more than a delay tactic. But you can delay and delay until you run out of time and you have to face the music. I always hoped and felt, and still do, that justice in this matter would be done in my lifetime. And I feel we are getting close. But while the commentary and protestation from myself and others locally were helping to draw attention to this very serious sin against you, the people, the thing that brought matters to the present boil has without a doubt been the effort of MSR Media with its lawsuits in Florida and here and St. Lucia. And remember, I just told you that some of these persons are going to try to stop the case in the United States on the ground that they are immune from the civil action. But even when MSR started their quest for evidence, even when they had begun to make sufficient inroads, interested parties were ignoring them, even dismissing them, not expecting matters to proceed to the point where things now stand at explosive level. MSR's leader, Mr. Philip Martinez, gave people a chance to visit his lawyers in the US, to view evidence and to talk reasonably. But most refused. He presented information to decision makers, but they tossed it aside. Some persons have busied themselves calling him a fraudster and trying to denigrate him and disparage and discredit him, and have made every effort to distance themselves from him. But look, now that we are getting closer to finding out the facts and the truth, what about fraud? Any? What about money laundering? Any? And other things. Some people who were ignoring or dismissing or accusing or denigrating are now trying to have a conversation to see if they can be excluded while others remain in the line of fire. This is clear evidence that some of them are in the fecal brick production business, as they've tried to reach out to Mr. Martinez to get them off the hook. And now, as I said before, that having failed, they're coming up with this argument that they are immune. Imagine what the repercussions for this country would be if people in positions of responsibility engage or were to engage. And I'm leaving this for the truth and the facts to come out formally and officially. But can you see a situation in which people in a position of accountability, when called upon by courts, say they are immune? This is going to be interesting. I believe it's just a time-wasting device. Just a time-wasting device. One of them, who may be in the line of fire, I don't know, has tried to make the case that the present Prime Minister signed the most Galaxy Jail citizenship certificates. So the focus should be on him and not the former Prime Minister. The person making that case wants Mr. Martinez to ignore the fact that this specific option under the CBI was created and passed by the cabinet of the former administration led by the former Prime Minister and done under regulations which conspicuously and incredibly did not include escrow provisions. The only regulation in St. Kitts Nevis CBI history not to have escrow provisions, and which cabinet decisions under Team Unity allowed Galaxy to get 5,500 files at a minimum sale price of $175,000 each, when it is well known that underpricing was more the rule than the exception. Brazen, illegal, reckless, contemptuous underpricing under the eyes of those who were elected and appointed to uphold the laws and protect the people of this country. The person who wants Mr. Martinez to focus on the present administration is obviously crazy. In order for this matter to be pursued in the best interests and good name of you, the people, and your country, it has to be fully investigated. All avenues of investigation need to be pursued. All must be revealed and justice must be done, regardless of who is involved. And justice cannot be selective and discriminatory that way. Justice is blind. Whoever comes before it must be treated with the same rules. Talk about immunity and all this nonsense. The people should have been immune from bad governance, but they weren't, and they've suffered as a result. But now those who have committed bad governance want immunity from having to give an account for their bad governance. They love you all. They love poor people. They love people poor. Deceivers. I dare say, with all that is going on, it may be time for the Director of Public Prosecutions to have a look into things at every person, human or corporate, who or which has been involved in and has benefited from this CBI jail project and from underpricing in the CBI generally. The people of this country need justice. This is an historic sin that has been committed against the people of this country. And until and unless the sinners are brought to account and reparative justice takes place, the people will not get their mojo back. And the people need to get their mojo back. People are going to blame MSR. Some have already blamed me for what has happened and what may happen. It is said that those whom the gods wish to destroy, the gods first make them mad. This is why I'm telling you, some of them are mad. Meanwhile, the latest revelations from exhibits filed in the court here in relation to the judicial review matter are pretty shocking. And again, they want to block the courts in America from allowing Martinez to extract any more evidence, records, and to have them inserted as exhibits in these lawsuits. People were not hiding when they were abusing the positions they were in and running amok, riding roughshod over the good name of the country and its people. Nobody could block them then, but now that the process has begun and is seriously underway for an accounting to be made, they want to block it. This, what is happening here, is a game changer. And if at the end of it, some of you are not impacted and do not become more vigilant and discerning as citizens and voters, then this country is surely doomed. Meanwhile, it appears that the prayers for good governance over the years by other persons and myself are on their way to being answered. These little devices and moves that are being made to hide and to bob and weave and to delay and all of these things will not change the final outcome. Justice is bawling out to be given a chance. And injustice getting its ventilation, people of this country will get their inspiration. At the start of this long process, there were just a few soldiers in the cause. We lacked assistance. But as time passed, and now with these bombshells dropping, the cause will no longer lack assistance. More and more people are seeing the wrongs that have been done to you, the people, and to the good name of your country. So the resistance to those wrongs has been growing and will grow more. While I believe that some will never open their minds and their hearts to the truth, I'm convinced that most will. And as the army of assistance and resistance grows, the soldiers are more and more realizing that this fight is for our children and their children. Children here and children yet unborn. So the cause now has assistance with its army of resistance for now and for in the distance. The good we can and will do. Thank you.
Well, my good people, that is commentary for today for the G.A. Dwyer Astafan's commentary. And I can say to you, my good people, I have seen the documents that were filed here in our beloved Federation with these matters that Dwyer referred to. They are very shocking. They are very serious. As I've said previously, when the facts comes out, if it ever get a chance to come out, many of you are going to hold your head and ball when you realize the people that you believe in so much and supported all these years have done the damage that they have done to this country, to us, and the future of this country. And I hold no water in my mouth when I say it. I have sat back and observed the workings of this present administration. The campaign was of such that we all had hopes that by now, once a change of government, the corruption will stop and somebody will be charged by now. It's 2 years later. And Marisha don't want to hear no story. Marisha don't want to hear about no case in the court. Because whatever case is in the court is somebody file a case in the court and the government defending themselves. The government, to my knowledge, have not charged anyone. The current AG, the current DPP, or whoever is in charge in this new administration have not filed any criminal cases, from what I know, against anybody. So these talk and radio programs about things in court and that does not move me. I don't want to hear those things. I want to hear who's going to be charged for the crimes that was found during the investigation since the change of government. We know this hush puppy matter, I mean, that's long overdue. Hush puppy been sitting in a US prison for some time now. I understand during this time. I want to know who were the actors at this end. Who were the actors and the St. Kitts Nevis end that was working with the hush puppy that he could get a passport in quick time. I know of family members and friends that have filed for citizenships by descent and have to go through all kind of ribmajig, all kind of nonsense. As I said last week, I have a cousin in the UK. They put the wrong date of birth on her certificate. And to get that corrected, been going through hills and valleys and lumps and bumps. So it seems to me that it's okay for criminals to enter into this federation freely and do as they please and get away with it, while the citizens have to go through the hard toil and get knocked out from the people that we elect to take care of us, to take care of the country. I dropped a track here last week, you know. I dropped a track here last week by the King Elimat that he sang in the Calypso Finals in 1992. And I can play it again tonight. Because the politics killing we. Every one of those politicians, when they're on the platform, they say, hold our foot to the fire. We're going to do better. But they get elected and their phone look like they don't have any data because you call them, you can't find them. You meet with them, they're going to get back to you, nobody following up with you. Is that the country running itself? And I'm not here to cuss anybody. As I've said time and time again, I'm going to give the Prime Minister the time that he needs to get his act together. But 2 years has passed, and I think it's time that certain things take place. We cannot go into the end of this year and people are not charged for their crimes. Earlier o'clock, the Prime Minister came and said he acknowledged there was at least, if not more, over 100 fake marriages. What's going on with that? Millions missing from Development Bank. What's going on with that? I understand an individual took the government to court for wrongful termination or relief of duties. That's not prosecution. I don't want to hear about that. I want to hear about the prosecution for the people that commit the crime then. If it wasn't for the MSR situation with this case that have been filed, we would not be hearing these things. We campaign for better than this. And I expect to see things move fast. We need to see it going overdrive. My good age dear brother, Garth Wilkin. I can't find him these days. I message him these days, my message is going to thin air because there's no response. The Deputy Prime Minister, Jeffrey Hanley, same situation. You message them, you send message to them, you call them, no response. This is not what we voted for. Who don't like it, you know? Who don't like what I'm saying tough? I warn you all from the beginning. I am campaigning for you all. I'm hoping for a change of government because I am of the view that the change that is required at this time is under the leadership of Dr. Terence Drew. And only a Labour government can take us back on track. We was way, of course. And I understand the struggle is real. I understand there's a lot that have to be done to get us back in gear. But there's some low-hanging fruits, as I've said before. There are some simple low-hanging fruits. And my question again going to continue this evening. Is it that the advisors that are advising this government are not giving good advice? Or are the government ignoring those advisors? That is my question. Last week, I asked a couple of questions, and a former police officer, a good friend of mine there in the Virgin Islands, he went on my thread under the program, telling me he don't like how I am asking questions that I want to know. And I responded to him, and I said, partner, if you don't want to know, it's fine, But the good citizens of this country have told me they want to know, and DJ Marisha want to know. He came back and he said, well, he wants to know, but it sounds like I'm bullying the government. How am I bullying the government? I think I was instrumental in the campaign to get rid of the farmer administration. And I think I was instrumental in electing this government. And I am not calling out things to hurt this government. I am saying the things that's on the street. The talk is on the street. They need to know what is taking place and how the people feel. That is what it is in. This is not about hush things. This ain't no hush business. Because if they don't straighten up their act now, come election day, come campaign period, what am I going to come to tell the people? I don't spin bowl, I'm a pace bowler. I'm a medium pace. I get in a hole now, so I can't bowl too fast anymore. I used to bowl serious pace. Now I'm down to medium pace. I don't spin. I'm not here to spin or mislead anyone. I am here to call it like I say it. Whether it might be sitting on a bus, at a domino table in any community, the people are talking to me. Folks are saying, Mr. Marisha, we appreciate you. We appreciate you bringing the message that we give. People are hurting. So at the bottom of the hour, I should be having a conversation with some folks. I do not know. One of them was on earlier. I guess he might have been just testing to see if he can come in. So I'm going to drop this track by the King Elimat. I don't want to get too deep into my conversation this evening before giving them the opportunity to come and do what they have to do. But like I said, my good people, Prime Minister, he have my full support. But if the people are crying and the people are saying their pain, and I could see that the people are having the pain. I have the experience to say I'm on the ground. Many of you over there in the diaspora, whether you might be in the region or whether you might be on the mainland or in the UK, who support a party, might come with a difference of opinion. But if you all feel so strong that things is so good, come back home and spend 6 months. Do not tell the people what to say who is here living the pain, who is feeling the strain. Come and deal with it yourself. And then you could comment. So my good people, let's take a quick listen to my boy Element, because this song is so true.
Observing the running here in this country, I see corruption veering at me. We complained about the former administration. Now we face a worsening situation. It's many years since the courthouse burned down. They raffle along, pick up money from all around. Well, I believe they go build it back. Now that election joyous near, but as of now, the wreckage is still there.
But if a labor man was in charge of this project,
he would have lose his job and perhaps his self-respect.
but because he's one of their own,
they allow such complacency to ruin this country. People,
politics killing we.
you can't get a job with big education unless you worship the politician. If you're a pretty woman, oh God, you got it worse. Before you start to work, they must make love to you first. When election come, politicians low and humble, but when they win, they become inaccessible. And if they are doing something wrong and you dare to open your mouth, you got to leave St. Kitts or get knocked out.
And they want to know who is this that you vote for.
Now that's the first question to get the smallest favor.
Yes, they're walking and playing God,
invading your privacy. I get so angry to see
politics killing we.
Oh yeah, yeah. They say baby Rabin was a greedy man, but he can't touch the politician. It's all kind of millions, houses and land, they take him without any question. Just the other day, there was a big scandal. 100,000 they paid for one rental. Well, as the government of this land, you get in your vehicle duty free. Well, if it's that kind of money, you could have buy more than 3. So they fool and they rip us off without mercy. They pay the less taxes. That is, if any. They don't really love this country. As far as I could see, they could vex with me, but
politics killing we.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yes, they do me bad. They damn near kill me. Why? Just because I sing and say what I see. They stop me from playing. Anywhere I go, they mash up me livelihood and me family. Just so, don't mind. Our hospital is in need of a repair. They don't mind, cause they go where to get health care. Our police force lacks discipline, and the civil service shaky. Now look how sugarcane is a dying industry.
Now they're fighting amongst themselves in the open.
As God is our judge, that is bound to happen. Well, look out and fire the deputy. Kick him out of the old party. Please wake up and see. Politics killing we.
Yeah, Sound of the Man King Elimat from back in the year 1992. That's during the Palm administration. Politics was killing us then. We are now in 2024. And the politics situation somewhat mirrors the same thing. So we got to get out of that zone. On screen here, you can see we have a gentleman. I know him to be the man, Brother Coyote Sutton. Could you please tap your mic, screen, open your mic, please? Your mic is closed. Good evening.
Good afternoon. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Welcome.
DJ Mauricio. Thank you very much.
Yeah, man. Long overdue, Brother Sutton. Long overdue, but I'm happy that you're here.
Yes, I have two other persons that are supposed to be joining. One is going to be joining late because she's in attending child's parent meeting. Okay. And of course, the PS is she's en route. She's going to log in a minute.
Okay, well, while they're doing that, we could wrap with you. You can just give some background on yourself, your name, rank, and what you've been doing. You have a very extensive career over the years. So by the time you finish that long presentation, I'm pretty sure somebody else might show up.
Well, Major Coyote Sutton. I'm a serving member of the St. Kitts Service Defense Force. Actually, the acting commander at the moment of the Defense Force. I started my career many years back. Started with the police force and then went on to the Coast Guard, served for a little bit in the Coast Guard, and then the Defense Force was reactivated. So I continued my service in the Defense Force and I've had extensive training opportunities and career development opportunities locally, regionally, and internationally. And I've also been able to develop myself academically. Recently concluded a Master of Science degree in National Security and Strategic Studies at the University of the West Indies. And also did postgraduate studies in the University of Leicester in Security and Risk Management, and also did some postgraduate diploma courses with the University of the West Indies in management, business management studies and other management studies and so on. Of course, my professional qualification courses extensively in the United States, mostly, and and in other countries. And so I've had the opportunity to serve at different levels of responsibilities as well. I was the regiment commander for almost 13 years and was in charge of the cadet corps for about 15 years throughout my career. There are some responsibilities that run concurrently with others. I was a public affairs officer for the Defense Force as well. I had professional training in that field in the United States with the United States Armed Forces, and also had some training with the Canadians as well. I think that's about it. So I've given quite a mouthful about myself.
Yeah, that's a mouthful, Coyote. And I know that's not about it because, like I said, I have heard a lot about you. And basically, when I really got to know you is under the Farmer administration. And we're not going to get into that conversation right now since you have other people joining you. I will just drum another song and give them a chance to come in. If not, then we could. Oh yeah, somebody's coming at the moment. So let's see who this one is. And I'm going to drop this other track in the meantime by the King Elimat. This one entitled "We Are the Same" because I think I like to mirror my music with the conversation, right? So when you hear me play a song, basically it's mirroring the conversation, and I want people to understand that we are one people. Yeah, we know the history, so we just need to really respect, show love, and do our part. And you in your capacity with the work that you have been doing. You have demonstrated your commitment and love for the country and for the people. So stand by. I see Brother Benta is on screen, so you could close the mic or you could leave it open. At the end of this track, I'll come in with Mr. Benta and we'll start our conversation if nobody else is online. Stand by.
All right. Okay.
The King and the Mat. This one is called We're the Same.
Yes, the time has come for St. Kitts and Nevis to unite. Because the way we just fight down each other, believe me, just can't be right. If something went wrong between us way back then, now is the time to put hatred aside and start to mend. We so intelligent, so resilient, and oh so wise. Yet how come we still fooling and talking and we still cannot realize that we are one people from the darkness of slavery, same history, common destiny. So when our foreparents came together from Africa here in chain, they shared the same pain, suffered sin and shame. Get it in your brain. We are, yes, we are the same. Same. My grandmother was born in Cox in Nevis. Good Lord, she fell in love and consequently came to live in St. Kitts. The sister Albertine was raised in Gingerland, and my best friend come from Cotton Ground, so we stand in hand. Lord, anywhere you turn, it's tradition and division. So I don't know how the hell I go deal with this talk about secession, because we are one people from the darkness of slavery. We get the same knockout from Master Whitey. So when my black brother and your black sister had to toil day and night in chain, they shared the same pain, suffered sin and shame. So join the refrain. Tell them. We are, yes, we are the same, same.
The King and the Mat. Oh yeah. We are the same.
Born in Newtown, so everybody know I am a Christian. But when I check for me family tree, I'm also Nevision. Politicians through the years divide and rule we, and while we busy making wars, they become high and mighty. Lord, unity is strength. We know this from since we small. It's time that we get together and make it better for one and all because we are one people. From the despairs of slavery, I said we get the same knockbout seamless from Master Whitey. So when my black brother and your black sister had to toil there all night in chain, they share the same pain, suffer sin and shame. I will tell you again, we are, yes, we are the same, same.
Yes, that's the sounds of the King Elimat. We are the same. Brother Benta, tap your screen, open your mic, please. Coyote, you as well. Okay, I see Coyote mic is open. Brother Benta, tap your screen, open your mic, please. See, make Whopper take your mic, Brother Benta. I'm not, your mic is still closed. Oh, yeah, your mic is still closed, Benta. Tap your screen, touch your mic. Tap your screen. Okay,
Let's see,
got
I'm
you.
up.
Okay, okay.
Good. Thank you.
All right, so it's good to have two decorated officers on screen this afternoon, this evening. So I already had Brother Coyote introduce himself. So Brother Benta, if you can just give a quick synopsis of yourself.
Good day, and for your listening audience, my name is Oakland Benta, an ex-chief of police in the U.S. Virgin Islands, an ex-senator, U.S. Virgin Islands, and a ex-vice president of a telecommunication corporation, which entail banking, TV, radio, cell phone, and pretty much an advisor to CARICOM and to some of the OECS states of the Eastern Caribbean. Good afternoon, all.
Okay, Brother Benta, yeah. So, Brother Coyote, I know in St. Kitts Nevis, just as Jamaica, folks don't have any respect for time, but when DJ Marisha give a time, we're working with that time. So I'm going to have to run with you until your colleagues pop in. We will pick up from there, but this program finish at 7 to accommodate the folks to go and look at their CPL. So Brother Coyote, from my knowledge, and you can correct me where I'm wrong, and if there's questions I'm asking that you cannot answer for whatever reason, just, you know, pivot. We're not here to put you under any pressure this evening. But from my information I received that you was the gentleman during the farmer administration that was in charge of the peace program, and you are today the individual that is still dealing with the new version, which is called Elevate. Is that correct?
I was not in charge of the program when it was called Peace. Actually, when the program was when it was introduced, I was at university pursuing postgraduate studies, and upon my return to the Federation in 2021, upon successfully completing my studies, I went back to the military, and my expertise was requested. Serving in the military, I was seconded to the Office of the Prime Minister, where the program is registered under the Constituency Empowerment Department. And there I functioned as a director for the Alternative Lifestyle Pathway Program. And we started certain initiatives, the mentorship training, soft skills development, and they were to move into hard skills, but we never got to that when the government, the political situation occurred, and of course then there was a change of government, and we kept the participants together. They continued to work, and we continued to pursue the same goals. And then with the new administration, the PS came on board in the office of the Prime Minister, that's Naima Hazel. We discussed what was going on, and of course, a consultant came on, and there was an extensive survey that was done of the participants and the program to find out the needs of the participants, and that's both on St. Kitts and Nevis. And then a program was put together to meet those specific needs. And I continue to work with the implementation of the program. And that is where we are. Now, it continued as an alternative lifestyle pathway program, even when the government changed. And it was one of the participants that actually in a general meeting we had suggested that they should call the program Elevate. And that's how Elevation, he said, let's call the program Elevation. And that's where the name Elevate came through. So initially the name was not changed, but one of the participants in Warner Park, when we had a general meeting, suggested that the program be changed to Elevation, and then Elevate emerged. So Elevate was born then. And since then, the implementation of the program that was developed through the survey and personal individual interactions that was done with the participant has been implemented. Now, this program includes career development and personal development training sessions, as well as financial literacy and entrepreneurial skills development and technical support and things like that. So each section is in 3 weeks of training. So we have, each session is a cohort of, we're on the third cohort in St. Kitts, and we had one cohort in Nevis. Everybody on Nevis has been trained, and we are in the process of training the last set of participants on St. Kitts currently. So far, we have trained almost 400 persons in total, and we're training the last set of individuals, participants on the program right now. And then after this training, which is forms the basis for the development of the participant, then we move into the Elevate ETE, which is the Elevate through entrepreneurship, whereby they're able to be attached to some private businesses. And to get that done, we've already had extensive collaboration meetings with the Chambers of Industry and Commerce and other agencies, the Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Education, everybody. We OASIS, which is a USAID funded program, and other programs that are NGOs on the island, to collaborate with them and bring together all the resources that are available to help to develop the participants that are seeking to become better citizens. And some want to pursue a career in farming, so they are also latching on to the government initiative of 25 by 25. We've had extensive sessions with the Ministry of Agriculture, where those participants who are interested have been called for special meetings, engagements with the agricultural experts, and they've been discussing, and there's a lot that is happening in that regard as well. And also with the Ministry of Education, social development and things. And then we're also looking at skills development, which is also critical to the program. We're working with TVET. Participants are taking courses in the local vocational schools on the island, and they're developing. We see they're making progress, and we're also consulting with TVET Council so that they can be the participants. Once they've met the requirement, they can be certified, and the certification that will be able to take them anywhere, so that they can become valuable contributors to the federation and earn their own keep and things like that. But there are other things that are going on as well. Let me quickly mention. That's not my area of expertise, though. But there's a lot of social intervention and social support that has been given to participants. There, the psychosocial analysis sessions, counseling, psychological help, all that is available for the participants, because there are a lot of people that are hurting and a lot of people have issues and they're reaching out. And because of the level of confidentiality with the persons that they've been working with, there's a lot going on in that. A lot of this does not come out in public because a lot of the participants, you have to respect their rights. And a lot of the participants really don't want their name to be out there. They don't want their pictures to be out there. So you have to respect that. But there's a lot that is going on through experts. A lot of persons have donated their time to help with providing these services, sometimes free of cost, to help the participants and so forth.
Well, you said a mouthful there, Brother Coyote, and I'm very happy that you finally made it here to break down the program and what you have been doing. Because if you were to listen to the rhetoric during the campaigns of all part of governments, previously when it was said in Parliament that they're paying criminals not to commit crime, it was denied that people getting paid. And then it became a political football amongst the former administration and even the current administration now. But what I'm hearing from you, I'm hearing some positive stuff, some very positive stuff, which this program, the LIFT, you said it's called?
Can you say that again?
This program, you say it's called LIFT. The new name of it is LIFT?
No, it's Elevate.
Elevate, sorry. Elevate. Mm-hmm. Well, before I get into the Elevate, I would like to elevate the PS. Miss Naima, could you please tap your screen and open your mic?
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the platform. Could you give a quick synopsis to the people of who we have this lovely lady online?
Hi, I'm Naima Hazel. I'm PS in the Prime Minister's office, and I have the responsibility for the Elevate program.
Okay, you got a lot more than that you can give us.
I do. I think I forget sometimes. Before I was here, I was somewhere else. Okay. Today I remembered I did a session today with gender with domestic abuse survivors, and I remembered that I'm a counseling psychologist, which I love, and of course a community and youth and women's advocate, and just a Caitifian that loves St. Kitts and Nevis. Really want to contribute my life to service. That's who I am.
Okay, happy to hear that. So, Brother Coyote, back to you. Like I said, if we were to listen to the rhetoric from the political platforms or the campaigns, we would hear basically all negative stuff about the government paying criminals for not committing crime. And what I'm hearing is an opportunity for any citizens that want the help and want to get into this program and elevate themselves. That is an opportunity for them. That is what I'm hearing. Am I hearing the correct thing?
Yes, you are. The marginalized, disenfranchised individuals in our community, we are helping them to get back on their feet, to give them a second chance, an opportunity to latch onto something productive, something that is going to help nation building, and so that they could become successful and viable, sustainable contributors to the development of the country. It's not, you see, there's a lot of rhetoric that goes out there. And honestly, a lot of what is being said, and a lot of times has no credibility to it. Yes, but you cannot respond to everything. Like I outlined a lot of things, and the PS is here. That is our area of expertise with the psychological, social support that's been given to the participants who need it. She's going to be able to expatiate on that. All that is not coming out in public, and we don't really want to bring that out because we don't want to violate the rights of the participants. A lot of the participants receive counseling in their homes. We go to their communities, and sometimes it's also family counseling, supports, and different kinds of support. it's so numerous that I can't even, I just cannot even remember all. Like a lot of it, what I already gave you. Yeah, there are two females, and I keep remembering them who are on the program, gangs and stuff, and they are right now about to graduate from AVIC after pursuing
I'm really proud of them.
after pursuing management studies. They were actually attached to a business institution in the federation for their on-the-job training, and I did reach out to the manager of a business establishment, and the manager said they were punctual, they are team players, everything, they were neat, they contributed to the development of their institution while they were there for the 3 months. The gentleman said he gave them B average, both of them. And I did ask him, suppose if there was opportunity, vacancy to employ to employ somebody in the institution, would you have considered them? He said, of course, because they performed well. Now these are success stories that we don't really put out there, because you also have to respect the rights. Yeah.
The people.
Yeah. If when they get to the point where they are comfortable and they want to be put out there, we will put them out there. But then I can assure you, DJ Marisha, there's a lot going on. The unfortunate thing is that, once there is a shooting in the community, everybody just looks at all the negatives, and then they beat down the program and all the works that has been done. The police are doing absolutely fabulous. What they can do, they're doing the most with what they have. Okay, the defense force they're working extra hard. Now remember, and the communities don't remember, that the persons that are in the police force, the police officers and the soldiers, they are human, and they're being overworked, and we're developing another set of problems there. Social problems for them. They're not able to be there for their children and things like that. But we're trying to manage that as well. And also the participants on the program, we're helping to manage them. But what I think that the general public needs to do, everybody needs to come on board and make contributions to help to rehabilitate and reintegrate these participants. The unfortunate thing is they're here. They're not going anywhere. And if you don't reach out to help them, then we continue to deal with the menace.
Something, Brother Coyote, Sister Naima,
yes.
I'm pretty sure, just as I am flabbergasted, as they would say, overwhelmed with the conversation we're having, I'm pretty sure folks viewing online have the same response to what we're hearing now, compared to what we hear in the community regular. So let me give Brother Benta an opportunity, because I'm pretty sure he too might be surprised with what he's hearing, because we come here this evening to get some information from you guys, expecting a completely different conversation. And what we're hearing.
What were you expecting, DJ? What were you expecting?
Well, I'm hearing about you all paying criminals to commit crime, not to commit crime and these things. That is what we're hearing.
I know that's the agenda. To me, there's always an agenda, right? And I always find it interesting that the talk is we're paying criminals to commit crime, but then the same talk is, oh, the program was so great before. What was the program doing before? It was literally paying people not to commit crime. They've actually tried this program right across the region, and it's been unsuccessful. Right across the region, just paying people to assume they're not going to commit crime.
Hold your thought, Naima, because I'm pretty sure Commissioner Benter will former police Commissioner Benter going to second what you're saying. So let's hear from Mr. Benter. Brother Benter, your input.
I must say that I'm very pleased in listening to the definition and the defined role as far as this program is consist of or comprised of, based on what we were hearing before, based on what Elena, DJ Marisha, as we were going through earlier. And that the name is no longer the Peace Program, and it's now Elevate. And now I heard a segment of it speaking about second chance. A second chance normally is for those who have been in the system, through the system, one way or the other. And in some instances, you find a lot of recidivists recidivism is one of those things that happens a lot. One gets arrested time after time after time after time and nothing different. And listen to the programs though, because I realized this is just not geared towards gangs, is geared towards enabling young others to be able to be a part of a program that gives them some beacon of assurance and guidance as well, with all of these social programs attached. And one of the things I as an individual who had that sole responsibility within my office, it became a thing where, as the young man mentioned, I think his name is Coyote, he said? I don't want to say Coyote. He mentioned as far as the individuals who are within the program, within the Royal Police Force of St. Kitts and Nevis, that they're being pretty much challenged as far as time for the program than for themselves and their children. And what I did in a program is initiating, because you got to understand, and I think that the members in the line does, when it comes to gang terminology is only one thing: a group of people, a group of young men and women, or just a group. And what they do is go around and commit crime and issues and so forth. There's no different name to gang. I'm glad that it was changed from, as I was hearing something about gang, to something that says something, let's elevate and move forward in another direction that takes away the connotation of just gangs. The other thing is in how we apply our margin of markers of errors to see whether or not the program is working and what sort of statistic we are keeping to ensure that we're really achieving what we need to see to enhance the lives of all those who come through the program, and then see how many have the success story where you can say if there was 10 and out of 10, there was 9 who went on to other things, that's a success story. And captivating the other mindsets of the others to come forward, what do we do to bring them along? As one would say, and some would think, in my office, whenever you committed a crime, you had to come to my office. If you're a minor, you had to come to my office. But when you came to my office, your parents also had to come. And the parents themselves found themselves going through that social atmosphere of going through the counseling along with the child. And the reason for that is the end game to this is that that child is going back into a home. And sometimes the parents don't know what they were introduced to, and they do contrary to the introduction of the mentorship and all the other things that came with it. And then you find that child now having that mixed emotion that he will represent what needs to be represented when he's called. And one of the things do when we call you, you got to show up. And when we call you, what we did in a law, we gave the parents in a law that I created to the legislature, that whenever a children issue occurs, whether in school or whether I call as the chief of police, that the parents are given time from work to come where they're still being paid. We had to appropriate the funds and so forth to make sure that not only that the program that you have geared towards financing the young men and women, but it also finances the parents, right? Because you take away from the household, that's a hardship on the household. And the buy-in though, sometimes becomes quite kind of difficult for some of the parents, because you got to remember a lot of the parents then, a lot of them, I wouldn't say illiterate, but they're short of being able to read some of the documents and actually comprehend it. So we had to now find a means of bringing the parents in so that they can understand the walk. Now you have those that are hardcore in the street, of course. And in being hardcore, you have to set a precedence as far as a name for the respect on the street. And one of the things that we did is that we went to the street, right? We became a part of that street and changed the dynamics of the street to those same individuals that looked up to these individuals to look up to something higher and better. And the better became because of what they see these other young men and women going through, we impart and make sure that we brought them in. Our programs that I expanded also included lunch program, etiquette training, and then the lunch and dinner programs. We had it where we went into the neighborhoods. And while we were on the corner with whomever, because you got to go, you can't eradicate what you don't understand. You can't eradicate it if you don't know how we began. And the mentality and the philosophy of what it entails, you too also have to understand that you can communicate so they can understand you and you understand them. Sometimes you think you take everything, but you don't give anything. You have to give to get. And it becomes a compromise where in the programs, children would stand on side and look in, but we made sure the nourishment and everything that we're imparting with those others, that they're also a part of it. Statistic. In it, we found that the same relevance to the young men and women who became an instrumental part of those programs, we made sure though, because we have the stereotyping, we have the prejudices when it comes to business that know or knew that children or individuals involved in certain behavior, they cannot cross the threshold of their businesses to be considered for employment. So what we did, we took those same young men and women out into the business sector, into the professional arena, so they can learn and see. Sometimes they don't know. They have never seen anything different except what they've been taught on the street. You know, creating a new discipline by making sure that they are introduced. And in some instances, those young men and women that are doing very well in school, I had that repercussion for Miss Naima, I think her name is Naima. For those young women and so forth that's doing well, we got to also bring them into the foliage of those programs too. And let me tell you why. In doing what we were doing with the program, the students who were doing well, all that we asked of them to do, they're doing. They're going to schools, they're studying, they're getting good grades and everything. They began to retaliate as well. Because they're looking at all of these services that's being provided to those individuals who have been in issues. And they who have been following our guidelines, who are following, they're not getting it. So they say, wait a minute. Do we have to be bad to be treated good? Right? Do we have to be in some sort of delinquency in order to be recognized, to be part of those sort of endeavors? Because the program is one, as I'm listening to, is very, very productive and on the long stream of corrective rehabilitation and mentorship. That goes a long way. And those children who don't see that, but continue to do what we ask of them, we can't let them escape. Because then what they started doing in the territory is those young men and women who saw, wait, I'm not a part of a gang or a group or creating an issue. They organize a group just to get in problems. And the problem they got into, so they could get into those programs. And then now you're trying to now bring them back into focus that you don't have to be bad to be treated good. So don't forget that, right? I really applaud the program, the rehabilitation and so forth. In the United States, there's been several programs, and a lot of it goes back to even to New York, Syracuse, New York. We had California, we had Richmond, Virginia, Washington, D.C. Now these programs come into play where the private sector, as I heard the young man speak about getting other people involved, where the private sector began to come in to contribute, but the contribution from the private sector, one was 1.5 million, the other under the second chance was over 800 something million dollars US. Into pushing these programs forward, once you have the collection of the right data based on what you've had before, you use the data statistic scale and show how the program is working. Now, in one of the consultation that I did in California, we had the issue with the MS-13. I don't know if you guys are familiar with MS-13, that's a gang. And in a consultation of that several years ago, one of the things that ended up happening was a significant deportation of if you're considered to be a gang. And that's something that really impacted us in the Eastern Caribbean as well. It geared towards MS-13 based on the FBI data collection. But what happened was the issue or the type of violence based on what these young men were familiar with shifted as these individuals got deported back to the respective place of birth. And with that, it came into all of our OECS countries. El Salvador, of course, where then after the MS-13 members got deported back to El Salvador, it changed to a massacre. And then we had those who were sent back to Antigua, St. Kitts and so forth, who had a little feel of it, that they came home and they started working some of the tables. And I won't talk about some of the things I did in St. Kitts years ago, right? I love St. Kitts. And with that though, we got to now pay attention to the signs that a lot of us are not even looking at when it came to the social media, we look at the data collection that we have. We are now in a better position, and listen to Ms. Coyote and Ms. Naima, Is that your name, Miss Naima? Last name or first?
It is. That's my first name, but it's fine. Naima.
Okay.
But Abenta,
Yes.
I know Naima have another event to go to, and I'm gonna give her an opportunity to.
Sure, definitely.
If you have to send, because this conversation will have to take place another time.
Well, I would love that.
As I said, the information that we're discussing is totally different to what I anticipated. So I am very happy to hear what is coming out of this program, and we need to have this conversation further. So Naima, your input.
And we'll be really excited to also to come back to talk to you following our national consultation. So I'm very happy to hear from my friend here from USVI, correct, Commissioner? Yes.
Yeah,
and a lot of these things that you said are actually things that we've considered. So I think DJ Marisha knows me a little longer. So I actually started as a guidance counselor in the schools. So that's where I started my work, and in working in youth development for now 24 years. So it's just in the last 2 years that I'm now in the Prime Minister's office. So a lot of the things you're saying are true. And a lot of people that are working in the system know these things are true. That crime is not an issue that is exclusive to guns and young men and the violence that we see, pow shooting, people dying. The violence and the crime starts much before that. In the homes, when we alienate certain segments of the population through persons that witness or experience domestic or sexual violence. Like, a lot of these factors contribute to the crime. But the thing that we see, of course, is people dying. And so people respond viscerally to that. And so that's why we also expect that the response is generally going to be a police response. But the police response is just part of the equation. You have to look at all the other aspects, and not just in terms of addressing the crime, but also preventatively. How do we stop the next set that come up? What do we put in place to ensure that our children have opportunities that they don't feel like they want to turn to gang violence? So one of the things that you mentioned and ties into what DJ Marisha was saying was that was the issue we found when we inherited the program. That a lot of people were coming out of high school, they weren't even doing any work in their last years of high school. Even though the opportunities for them to go to do CXC were there, a lot of them weren't doing anything because they were like, when we get out of school, we're going to go on the peace program. Like, the peace program is a job, but the peace program was not a job, it's a program. And when we met the program, we couldn't even measure like what happens at the end of the program. When does the program end? Like, what were the measurables? Like, what are the outputs? Like, what are the outcomes? Like, what was supposed to happen? How was this going to sustain itself at this level? And it was like, for me, a dream, because it's like, oh, we could do so much with this opportunity. We have these young people here and these marginalized groups here, and we've got their attention. Let's see if we can really engage them in a way that they can see a benefit, elevating themselves on the program. So elevate is actually elevate your choices, elevate your opportunities, elevate your choices, elevate your life. That's our logo. So what it also asks is not just that we keep doing things, because we do a lot. It's also that they also know their responsibility. So it's not always about the way the government is responsible for helping you. It's also, how are you going to help yourself? What makes you make a decision that's different than that person for your own life? What accountability are you taking for your choices? Now you have a family, you have a home, you want to have a job, you want to be included in society, you don't want to be excluded. What do you need to do for that to happen? So this is what we can do for you, but this is what you need to do. And if you're not doing that, then you're not interested in the program, and we should use those resources somewhere else. So that's why we started then even to do, we also do programs in financial literacy. Because one of the, and of course, I think Coyote probably spoke about before I came on, financial literacy, career development. But we also do a specialized program for girls in schools called Cash is Queen. Because one of the risk factors for gang involvement is single mothers below the poverty line, right? So if we don't start to address the problem of single mothers who are poor, then you're her son and you're thinking, I got to make money for my family. How am I going to make money? I left school, I ain't got no skills, I have no job. What choices do you have to make money but robbing, selling weed or drugs, getting involved in the trade? So we criticize where they are, but we never ask where they were going when they were leaving school at 16. Where are these boys going? Where are they going to live? What are they going to do? How are they going to support their families? They're living in homes, they eat food. Your mother's going to be in your house complaining, oh, you're always eating the food in the house and you never contribute to the house. It's simple things like this that we don't think about in terms of the pressure that's on our young people to fit in and to have something. And we see a lot of people in society and elections and politics, and everybody wants something. They want land, they want this. They decided they wanted something. But when they went to the previous program, what they wanted was opportunities, but what they were offered was money. So if somebody offers you money, you're going to take it too. And then you're going to get used to having that money and think that that's your entitlement. So that's what we came and we met. So we've really been trying to shift it. We know it's hard for people to understand sometimes. And so it's very easy to say, oh, they stopped paying them, and so they're now killing each other. But it's not true. We still actually employ a lot of persons, less than we did, but a lot of persons. And we still give money, but we're just not giving exorbitant amount of money. Like some people were receiving contracts for as much as $24,000 to run a truck. Do you get $24,000 to pick up garbage? You do not, right? So if you have $24,000 and you already got some money, what are you going to do? You're going to start to spend the money on things because you have extra money. So if you're extra money and you're in a criminal element, what do you spend your extra money on? So this is how that issue exacerbated the problem. So when people say, why are you not paying? It's not that we weren't paying. We are. What people need. We're paying them what the program outlined they were paying, not the extras that nobody then can justify and that are not fair to the taxpayer and are showing then making that lifestyle look lucrative. Oh, it's lucrative for me to just be not committing crime, but really secretly kind of committing crime because I'm doing other things with my money. So, but then you also have to meet them where they are. If you've never had money, how would you spend it? You know, so it's a lot of different elements. So we started looking at the problem as a holistic problem. This is what our PM wanted us to look at the whole problem. What is it? What is the issue? What is really causing this, and how can we really address it? So we really have to address these issues holistically. So I said that to just to I'm going to put in a quick plug before I leave. We've actually started a 90-day consultation on citizen security. Elevate is part of the consultation. We're only part of the consultation because we're only part of the solution. But really, the solution comes from the people, because every citizen has an answer, a solution, an anecdote. Maybe they have a program they themselves do in their community that works. Maybe they know a model that works. Maybe they know a person that's a good example. But everybody has something to contribute. Maybe they have an idea for a way that police can be doing. Maybe they see something in their community they're not speaking about, but they're willing to talk about. But we have to engage all of society because it's an all of society problem. It's not a political problem. It doesn't belong to a government or to the police. It belongs to all of us because it affects all of us. So I really want to reiterate that. We have our second, or actually our official consultation first on Friday. We have another one that will be in Nevis. And then we'll be going on to have a few more consultations. We'll also be doing community consultations. There'll be online consultations. So you can call in, your listeners can call in and they can also contribute. And then I love that we're on the phone and of course you're in USVI because sometimes it's the same lessons all across the region. We have the same problems, but we don't see what somebody else is doing that works and say, oh, that's working over there. So we want to be able to create a model looking at other best practices that we can use to help to elevate our citizens and move us away from this culture of accepting crime and violence and thinking that it's normal. It's not normal. It's never normal for people to die. It's never okay. It doesn't matter who you think they are, or what you think they've done, or how many bodies they have. It's never okay. That person that's dying is somebody's brother, somebody's son, somebody's, sometimes somebody's mother, somebody's sister. So we have to be thinking more human. We need to have a more humanistic approach to affecting crime and violence, and not just this visceral, like, oh, there's the violence and we're scared, because that's a trigger in us, that we're scared because we see shootings, so we're triggered by it. But we also have to be like, okay, what can we do to stop it, and all be part of the solution and not just point and blame shift people for the problem. Yeah.
Yeah, two quick things before you go, Naima. One, I would like to know for the general public, how do you guys go about your recruiting for this program?
Oh, well, actually, we don't recruit for this program at all. The group that we met when we came in, is the same group that we have. Very rarely do we add more persons to the program, although we have been doing some work with the prison in terms of rehabilitation. So sometimes we make some exceptions to help prisoners to reintegrate, because, you know, when a prisoner gets out of prison, they have no funds. You're just sending them back to the same community. So we're looking at other ways that we can use our funds, but we do not usually take new members. We also have a pilot project that we're doing in one of our communities. And so we have a 3-month program that we're paying for out of grants, actually, not out of Elevate, that we pay for, that helps a small pool of young men that have left school. And we're trying to engage them in skills, masonry, carpentry, plumbing. They're actually fixing an area in their community that has been kind of affected by gang violence. It feels a bit unsafe, is kind of be allowed to deplete. So we're really trying to build it up. They made that decision. They want to make it a green space. They felt that this is what was needed in their community. And we had a former member from the peace program who actually volunteered to come in and to assist us with that program. So that program has about 10 young men, and we're piloting that. So we look at that, but we do not recruit new members to the program. I think people think that's true, but it's not. Our numbers are actually half of what they were when we got the program. And part of it is also that we put people in the programs they're supposed to be in. So if you're an elderly person, you should be on Lyft. You know, if you're a child, your family should be worried about Lyft. We should put you through a social services program. You shouldn't necessarily be 3 or 4 or 5 years old on the Elevate program, you know? So these are things we put people where they're supposed to be, but we haven't recruited in the way that you're saying new members. But we did re-register our old members. So some of our persons came back on, some of our persons left to the STEP program, some people went into the private sector. So that's how we were able to get our numbers down. But we haven't been recruiting new numbers until this cohort of the program graduates out of the program. Then we would consider what the next phase looks like based on what the data is telling us about what was effective and what was ineffective.
Okay.
Love that you talked about the data.
Yeah, thanks for that information, but maybe it might be a different approach to what you guys are doing, but with the same expectation and result. But when I traverse through the various communities, there's a lot of young people, men and women on the streets, that can be tapped to assist in getting our community back on track, that are going by the byways. So that's why that's why I asked that question. The next thing is,
and that's why I brought up the consultation, because that's what we want. We want to see the strengths of the community. We want to see the strengths of the family. We just trained 26 Elevate, just worked with the National Council Center, interministerial, and trained 26 community-based counselors in the family model of counseling, because they are the ones that are in the community and they need to help the families from a strength-based approach. So we're thinking about building up families, not just putting a Band-Aid over the problem. So we are not recruiting per se, but we are always going out to engage persons in the community.
It's something like train the trainer. You train those and they go into the community and continue the message. And I like that. Mr. Benter, like I said, is a former police commissioner of the Virgin Islands, and he has been here a few times. He have helped St. Kitts Nevis during his time as commissioner of police.
Nice.
And he have made his offer on more than one occasion. As a matter of fact, I think a few weeks ago, we spoke to Mr. Rollins about Mr. Benter willingness to come. He's not charging the government. He's willing to offer his services where he can, in regards to some of these programs the guys are putting up. So as the PS, I'm giving you the up again with him here. Feel free to reach out. Mr. Benter is available.
Well, I hope that you'll hold on to his information for me. You know, you always know how to reach me, DJ. And so I'm happy for you to share the information. Listen, I'll be honest, this is not a one-person job. As you see, I have a strong team. Alicia is not here, who's our project coordinator, but our team stretches across. We've got our supervisors, our field officers, but mostly we want to engage others. Yeah, we would love the help. We always want support. And I look forward to working with anybody that is looking to move this issue forward. So yeah, I would love that. So please share the information. I'm sorry that I can't stay longer. I hope that you'll invite me back.
There's an open invitation. I guess I'm going to Brother Coyote. So as soon as you guys are available, after the CPL, I would like to continue this conversation, because like I said, it's a different dynamic to what really I anticipated. And I am happy to see the direction in which this program is going.
Thank you. And I'm happy for you to have us back. And then I can also talk about the national consultations on criminal, on citizen security. So that would be a great opportunity, and we could tie it all in. And I think that your listeners would be really interested in what's going to be happening there.
Thanks,
you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I hope
right.
this continues. I have complete confidence in Chaotic.
All right.
Thank you. And thank you to your listeners for their patience.
All right. Yes, thanks. Yeah, Brother Coyote, back to you.
Yes, sir.
Again, I think that was a mouthful from yourself, Sister Naomi, Naima, and Brother Benter. So we're running down to the bottom of the hour. You guys gonna have to come back and let's continue this conversation. But is there anything else you want to add before I jump into my next segment?
Honestly, I think we pretty much covered everything. It's just reaching out to the communities, the well-meaning people in our community, to reach out and lend a helping hand and help to rebuild what has been damaged in our society, rather than casting blame and pointing fingers. That time is gone. People are dying. We need to resolve this. We need everybody. If we all come together, I think as a society to deal with the issue, I think we'll get so much further, rather than making it a political issue or is a police issue. The police can only do so much. And DJ Marisha, I tell you something, right? When I'm in conversations with people, they say, so what can we really do to fix this problem? I said, you really want to hear from me? He said, yeah. Tell me, what is it can we do? I said, what we can do, you can contribute to the solution. Raise a child with good values. Raise a child with good values. And 20, 30 years down the road, he's going to make valuable contribution. And the society is going to change gradually. Because the politicians, the police, the nurses, the soldiers, the teachers, and everybody, they're all product of the same society. It's where the society has failed. That is what we are seeing today. I said on a Freedom FM program yesterday, when Naima and Miss Collins and I were there, crime is sensational in St. Kitts and Nevis, and it's really unfortunate. There was a video that someone showed me, and it's like, what do you say about this? Are you going to do something about this year? And I was like, what? And when I watched it, you could actually see someone that was shot. People were videoing him, and you could see when he took his last breath. Nobody touched him, but they were videoing him. That's the kind of persons in the society. And it's the same people now that will point fingers and say, they ain't doing nothing. The government is not doing nothing. The police are not doing anything, and so on. What are we doing? What is our contribution? I remember there was a murder on West Independence Street, and it really, really shocked me. That was a couple of years back. It really, really shocked me when the building, there's a pinkish kind of building on the right when you turn in from Keon Street on West Independence Street, and there is slopey down towards Independence. Somebody was killed there. And you know what? As soon as the body was moved, people walked on the blood. People continue passing and bypassing along the sidewalk. And it was shocking to me. That was a while back. It was shocking to me. And I said, we glorify crime. Before the police gets to a scene, you already have the picture circulating, and there's nothing glamorous about sending out these pictures and sending out information, disseminating this information. Sometimes it hits home. I get these things and all these messages. I can't stop people from sending it. When I get it and so on, I don't forward it. I just sometimes delete it. It happened to me once. My cousin was killed in Keon. I did not know it was my cousin. Pictures came out. I didn't look at the picture. I sent out soldiers to respond. And then the name came later. And I was like, what? Because we carry the same last name. And then when I went in and I zoomed in the picture that someone sent me, I said, that was my cousin. That's how quick it can reach home. His father is my first cousin. First cousin. He's my second cousin. I saw him as a child and he was gone. So that's how quick it can reach home. But rather than we wait for that to happen, let us all reach out and do what we can. There are situations where it does not cost anything for people to help. When I was in charge of the Cadet Corps, we created a Cadet Parents Association where the parents can be involved in the developmental process of the cadet. Cadetting teaches children to be valuable children, to be leaders, to be tolerant, and also show them techniques to be successful in their educational pursuit and so on. And when a lot of times you invite the parents to come and see what their children are doing. They are not interested. There are a few parents that will come, but it's not everybody. There is a particular mother on Nevis who will get here before, when we have a church service or not, she will get here before parents on St. Kitts from Nevis. Now, what happens to your child? You don't know. It's like, oh, I'm just looking for an opportunity for someone to help to take care of them. So the cadet program is they're going to be doing some training. They're going to be doing camp. Yeah, take them, go, just go with them, and pass on the responsibilities to someone else. So we need all hands on board. We need all hands on board. If people become concerned and involved in the process rather than castigating and blaming people, DJ Marisha, honestly, things will change in this country. St. Kitts is very small. We're not even 60,000 people. It's very, very small. The places I have grown up, there are marketplaces where you have more people than in marketplaces. There are more people than in St. Kitts. One market. It's very, very small. But we think that we are so big and we are so insensitive. All we want to do is cast blame. Where are the solutions? Come with the solutions. Come and help. Yes, that is. I mean, in another meeting, I took stepping out in and out of a meeting to come and discuss with you. But it's fine because I think this discussion, this program is long overdue. I know you've reached out to me too many times that we needed to have this discussion, and I'm happy that we're able to make it happen this evening. Even though it's interrupted into what I'm doing, I'm not able to make contributions there. But I know that this is important, and that's why I decided to step out so that I could do this. And of course, like you said, we could continue the conversations. And I could invite you in so that you could see the process, what we're doing with the participants. They are genuine people. They are Kittitians and Nevisians. They're just like you and I. I have cousins here. My family is from here. I have cousins here who are like that. I told you one of my cousins was killed. So reaching out to help someone here, I don't want somebody else to lose a valuable family member. If we can reach out and help, we help him. We're doing the best that we can. But rather than people calling it down and passing blames, it demoralizes even the participants. It demoralizes some of them. They're calling them names, oh, they're not this, they're not that. But come on, what do you want them to do? They make wrong choices. But does that mean that that's it? No opportunities for them? Of course, I know there are some that don't want to change, but a good number of participants want to change. They want the basic things. They just want to be able to earn for their children, be able to provide for them. You need to see them when they are with their children. They don't want nobody to touch them. They don't want nothing to touch them. They made mistakes, but they want to correct it. But the society is unforgiving. To reintegrate is a problem. After we train, give them all the training, they get all the certification, these CVQ certifications that they could go use anywhere in the Caribbean or anywhere in the world. Fine. But then when it comes to getting a job, oh, you're a jailbird. We can't give you a job. Then what? Then what's going to happen? You know how difficult that could be? You have your son, you have your daughter with you, but you're willing, you're ready to work. But nobody's giving you an opportunity. How do you go? What do you do? One of the participants came the other day. He has a child, and he said, Mr. Sutton, I really want to buy some Pampers, and I don't have any money. But I'm willing to work. These are the issues. But it's easy for us to just castigate everybody. Everybody is just, oh, they smoke weed and that's it. But don't give them no opportunities. I tell you something, DJ Marisha, there's one thing that I know for sure. These people are here, they're not going anywhere. If we don't help them, we have to live with them. We have to live with the menace. We have to live with the menace if we don't reach out and help them.
You know, Brother Coyote, I really appreciate the forthrightness. I appreciate what you're saying, because while you're speaking, I'm here listening to the situation. And similarly, tonight I was going to give some updates, and my partner there, my brother Conce Edwards, he's missing and eventually found dead and whatever, and some initiative that I'm putting in place for him. And it goes right back to the conversation you're having, because there are so many people out there out of work, and not that they don't want to work or they're not trying to find work, is that for whatever reason, they're not given an opportunity. And as part of Brother Conce Edwards' legacy, I spoke to his family last week about me starting an initiative trying to raise some funds via this program to pay a worker to assist at a daycare. And I'm happy to report that the issue that I brought to some of the business people around, they accepted it with open arms. I basically, this program this evening and going forward for the next couple of weeks is sponsored now by Warner's One Stop over there in Boardwalk. Jeff Freights and Sons Enterprise over there in Molyneux, and the bakery there in Borio. And there's one of two citizens like Hazel Claxton in the Bronx, New York, Pearl Phipps out of the UK, contributed. And because of their contribution, along with my contribution, I was able to send the money to that daycare on Sunday to pay that worker starting Monday gone. Monday gone, that worker started. So that young lady is able to put food on the table, take care of her kids. Social Security will get their contribution. Society will get what is due to them. And the daycare is getting the help that they need. And I reach out and I ask people to contribute, that I can keep the funds going, that I can pay this money weekly. And I'm going to do it for as long as I can until the government step in and do what they can do to help these people. What folks don't realize is that you might say that there's a daycare with 10, 15, 20, 30 kids, and you only need X amount of staff. But I can tell you, Brother Coyote, and I'm pretty sure in your experience, you have seen that. It all depends on the type of students that you have, children that you have. Some might need more attention than some. I mean, DJ Maurice is a prime example, you know. I could tell you this. Going to school in St. Kitts, back in those days, the teacher would tell us, your passing grade today is 65. DJ Maurice was a little hard little boy. So DJ Maurice would mark his papers himself. I would do just enough work to pass at 65 and don't touch another thing. I never push myself any further than that passing grade. If the passing grade is 80, I'm going to do just enough work to pass that grade, and that's it. It's only after I became an adult and traveled out in North America, went to get my electrical certificate. Having a degree is important, because no matter how good you are with your hands, in those countries out there, if you don't have some kind of degree in your hand, you don't get paid the salary that you deserve. So during my time going to school for my electrical services, not only I got my certificate, I got a merit of excellence for my input, for my performances, because I paid attention with the NYPD, just the same, going to school every week, studying, put aside vacation, focus on my books. I was the only officer that get 100% from the Bronx in that class. And Mr. Bente is here as a police officer. I'm pretty sure he knows that these tests, they're not easy. They're very in-depth, and the American system is somewhat different to the British system. But in the US, you have to be on top of your game to get 100% passing mark. So when I look at all of this, and I look at these little kids and how they're trying, and the decade that is trying that need the help, I decided, man, in honor of Cons Edwards, I will utilize this program and try to raise some funds to pay a worker to help out a daycare. And if the funds come in to hire more than one person's, so be it. But I'm focusing on one at a time, brick by brick. This program, DJ Marisha Production, will make its contribution and keep the legacy of Cons Edwards alive, because I know who Cons was. If it wasn't for Cons, I would have never been a radio disc jockey. I had no interest in it. But because of him, I end up being on ZIZ, and from there, other radio stations around the region and around the world. So what you guys are saying to me, what Naima is saying to me, what you are saying to me, Brother Coyote, my conversation with Brother Benter, I know that we can do better as a society. We don't have the love that we used to have, and we need to contribute. So tonight again, I want to big up the people at the Warner's One Stop there in Boardwalk, and the good folks there at Jeff Freights and Sons Enterprises. Support businesses that support you, my people. I am not cussing the Chinese them. I am not beating up the Chinese them. But I have said week after week after week, I cannot go to the Chinese and get a donation. They're not giving it when I ask. But when I go to the local businesses like Warner's One Stop, Jeff Freights Enterprise and Bakery, they contribute. There are many other individuals in St. Kitts and Nevis that is in a position to contribute. I have not reached some of them as yet, but some of them again is just selfish, my good people. So for these decades out there that need our help, I have a few meetings set up with a few people, and I expect to get a positive response, because I need to continue sending these funds to that daycare weekly to ensure that that young mother continue to have food on her table. Brother Benta, open your mic. Brother Coyote, open your mic. It's now almost the top of the hour, so I'm going to give you guys your closing. And next week, my good people, I am going to give you a full rundown and update on the situation and that home in Sadlers, where my good friend Cons Edwards went missing from. And I'm going to update you on a lot of situations that I am of the view that the government is falling short on. These type of places, these homes that are taking care of the elderly, something needs to be done about making sure that they are properly managed, properly outfitted to have these kind of homes. You cannot just randomly have people out there just taking $2,500 a month, $3,000 a month, and not taking care of the people that they've been paid to take care of. So next week, when I could really put my time into it, you are going to hear from me. Some people might be upset with me because they don't want to hear the facts, but I will give a full update, and my brother Cons Edwards next week, and I will give you all my experience with that home. But tonight is not the night for it, because I don't have enough time, and I don't want to shortchange anybody. When I come to speak, I come to give the real deal. Brother Coyote, you're closing.
Yes, thank you very much, DJ Marisha. I just want to use this opportunity to reach out to our people. We are loving people in St. Kitts and Nevis, and I think that we can extend a loving hand to those in need. We do not need to call down any program, rather show love and reach out to the persons that need the help. They might have made wrong choices along the way, but it doesn't mean that they cannot change. Okay, we're doing all that we can to help them. I want to plead to the businesses to provide them with opportunities, second chances to be able to get employment when they come with their certifications. And those who can contribute, resourcefully with their, qualifications and their expertise, we look forward to that as well. And we will continue to work. And I'm quite pleased with the level of commitment that we have from the facilitators that we have right now, and how they go, every week they go committed, travel, risk their own life, committed to helping those in need in our community. So the time to call, to castigate, to diminish, to pass derogatory remarks and all that, point fingers, is over. It's time for everybody to come together and all hands on deck. Let us take care of our problems and resolve it. No one can solve this problem for us. I don't care how much help you get from the United States. I don't care how much help you get from England. I don't care how much help you get from Antigua. St. Kitts and Nevis is different. We have the resources right here to take care of our problems, because a lot of the criminals need all the support that they can get to be able to operate. So, and they live within us. Let us all come out and help resolve this problem and stop blaming. It's about time. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Khaledi. Brother Benta?
Thank you. And I want to thank the young man. I call him a young man. I don't know who he is, but I really love listening to his explanation of the program. I don't know if, I'm looking at the uniform, I don't know if it's constable or military. My apology. I'm trying to figure out what the service is. But, one of the things that there's some regrets in my time as well. I go back some years from in the police department. I met with a gentleman by the name of Nayib Bukali. And this gentleman, I met him while I was traveling, and he was a minister in El Salvador at that time. This is way back in 2015 or so. And one of the things in our discussions that he began to speak about was El Salvador. And in speaking about El Salvador, his thing was looking at what the massive destruction of the crime plagued by gangs or so forth in the community created. And as such, in sitting with him, meeting with him, we generated an idea as far as how you can combat the gang issue based on what transpired with a lot of deportation back to El Salvador that created a massive hand-strong of crime. But to my surprise, as a minister, he was elected as president of El Salvador. And as such, in some of the discussions we've had, we spoke a lot about rehabilitation and Peter was building the nation back to something of quality. And as the young man said, as Coyote said, and listen to Naima, that it's going to take Kittitians to fight for St. Kitts and Nevis. The strength comes from within. My recommendation as far as visiting the prison and so forth, see what was going on in there, was one that says that this is not feasible in order to rehabilitate, nor is it feasible on the humanitarian side. But Bukali, after a while, when he became president, in our discussion prior to him winning, he explained that he had a plan, and we worked the discussion. And then he said, Mr. Benta, this is my country, and these are my people that are getting killed every day. And I hear you about rehabilitation, and I hear you about all these other programs. And he decided to forego all of those requirements and move massively and removing all of the criteria for warrants and so forth for arrests, and move and a mass conclusion with the military and the police, and began to arrest members of gang no matter what. And as such, he built a facility, and this facility is the Center for Confinement of Terrorism. And they have been arresting these individuals in great numbers and incarcerating it. What I discussed with him in his presidencyship was that we got to remember that not only that these individuals have committed crimes and we have to really conduct investigations, but also they have families as well. that, of course, need to take in consideration. Heinous crimes are heinous crimes that must be dealt with. There's some who were trying to go along to get along and get caught up in the foliage. So he built a prison and did mass arrests of thousands, hundreds of thousands of Venezuelans, El Salvadorians, who are now in this prison, or you call it the CECOT, Center for Confined Tourism. But listen to this, we're in a good place, and listen to the gentleman and listen to the young lady, that if we as a community can stand and bond together, that we can actually combat this short-lived process of minds of individuals, because we are holding the handle and they're holding the blade. But the blade can't be sharp to the point that we're gonna maim, but it must be one that has another direction to educate, enhance, mobilize, and create the entrepreneurship of our own people to learn of the shortfalls and iniquities, and they can grow and build to become productive citizens. So I want to thank the gentleman, Mr. Coyote. You're well-spoken, you're well-versed, and both you and Naomi are very much so understanding of the vexing issues, the social issues, the moral issues, and where it needs to go. And to come in and sit down and listen to you and follow along with the program you have. I'm going to make my commitment here that I'm going to look at one of the areas of the program and I will fund it to make sure that it has that rise to grace rather than disgrace to our nation and to your families and the families alike. All right. So my assistance is one, as Mr. Mauricio said. Hopefully we're able to do the diversification of the economy and build out a smart city on your nation of St. Kitts and Nevis and move something that sounds really good. And I'm very moved by the presentation of the presenter. Thank you, DJ Mauricio, and I think this was a very good program this evening.
Yeah, thank you, Brother Benton. Again, like I said, Brother Coyote. And again, I want to say thanks to the individual that contributed to the fund to pay a worker for that decade this evening. I must say this week. And we'll continue to do that until the fund is run out. So I want to thank Brother Jeffrey and Enterprises and Company there over there in Molyneux, Warrior, also Warner's One Stop, Sister Hazel Claxton, Sister Pearl. And anyone out there wishes to make a contribution, feel free to reach out because we want to do as much as we can for our community. My local number here in St. Kitts Nevis is area code 869-660-0195. And like Brother Coyote said, we need more love. I'm going to drop this track. I'm not even going to say good night to anybody online tonight because Brother Benter, the amount of people online, it can take me all night to call these names. I'm not even going to that tonight.
Thank you very much.
You know, so I'm going to drop this song for your brother.
It's nice meeting you.
Yeah, I'm going to drop this song for your Brother Coyote by the man Gypsy. We need more love.
Okay, man. Nice.
Yeah, man.
I hear clamoring in the world, saying Satan is in control of mankind, mind, body, and soul. May I pose this question to you? Do you firmly believe that's true? Or is people like me and you who just making the whole world blue? When we show no consideration for the man that is on the ground, and we act without hesitation in doing our next man wrong, then we talk about evil and blaming the devil. Let's examine ourselves. We should firmly believe no seas too rough for me to sail, no mountains too high for me to climb, to help my brother, he needs my help. Oh, no load is too heavy to help him carry what I'm speaking of, this world needs more love, man, we need more love. I listen to us every day, talk about loving the best away, where we really mean what we say. And every Sunday morning we perch on the first pew inside the church. Love's the reason we congregate, then we poison we mind with hate. When we pass someone by the wayside, see him suffering nevermore, and be the first one to pass judgment. Is the sins that he paying for? But while we judge people and what we think they do, we are being judged too. We should firmly believe no seas too rough for me to sail, no mountain is too high for me to climb, to help my brother, he needs my help. No load is too heavy to help him carry what I'm speaking of, people, this world needs more love, yes we need more love.
Whole lot of love. The man Gypsy. We need more love.
Any conflict and many wars are ignited simply because lack of love is really the cause. So much squabble and so much fight that goes on between black and white, and even though we know it's not right, it's the reason we can't unite. We show contempt for God's creation and the beauty that lives within, and instead judge class and position and the simple color of one's skin, ignoring that the Creator, they love one another. How could we disobey such rule? We should firmly believe no seas too rough for me to sail, no mountains too high for me to climb, to help my brother, he needs my help. No load could ever be too heavy to help him carry what I'm speaking of, This world needs more love, yes we need more love. Let us swallow our foolish pride, put petty jealousy aside, and by the laws of nature care abide. Check the wind, the rain, and the sun. Though they're different, they exist as one. Through the great love of nature's plan, don't they help us all to move on? Shouldn't that be a perfect example for all mankind to follow? And like nature, the great provider, the same tender love we should show for all God's creation, including man to man. The answer is in our hands. If we firmly believe, no seas to rough for me to sail. No mountain is too high for me to climb. Just to help my brother, if he needs my help. No load could ever be too heavy to help him carry what I'm speaking of. People, this world needs more love. Yes, we need more love. We need more love. We need more love. We need more love. If this world needs justice, this world needs peace. If this world needs fair play, oh yes, I say, if we must end apartheid, unity is strength. We should go to any length to find more love.
Yes, we definitely need more love, my people. St. Kitts Nevis, we can do better than this. I'm going to give some little updates here on funeral. Regrettably, we announced the passing of Omel Joseph Nisbet, affectionately known as Nana, of Cotton Ground Village, St. Thomas Parish, near Nevis. The sad event took place on Thursday, 22nd of August, 2024. The funeral service of the late Omel Joseph Nisbet will take place tomorrow. That's Thursday, September 5th, at the St. Thomas Anglican Church at 3 p.m. Tributes will begin at 2:30 p.m. Interment at the church cemetery. That's the mother of Sister Faith. They at the Wally Resort and Nevis. My condolences goes out to the family and Sister Faith and the passing of her mom. Now we also have another funeral announcement here for my boy Yamba. Brother Yamba passed away. Brother Ernest Garfield Yamba Robinson, sunrise on July 10th, 1962, sunset on August 26, 2024. The service of Thanksgiving to be held on Thursday, 10th September. That's next Thursday, 10th September, at the Wesley Methodist Church, Seaton Street, Bastia, St. Kitts. Viewing and tributes from 12:30 p.m. Service at 2 p.m. Interment at the Springfield Cemetery. So we have Sister Faith Mom's funeral is tomorrow, and Brother Yamba is next Thursday, the 10th of September. I want to thank you online viewers for coming and stream as usual to give your input and hear what is taking place. We had some good guests this evening. Sister Naima there, along with the man Coyote Sutton and Brother Benter. Brother Benter, tap your screen up in your mic, please. I think you're gonna get away from this one. I was going to social media over the weekend, Brother Benter, and you come here week after week, and I have not heard you speak on the topic that you're running for Senate for the Senate there in the Virgin Islands, but I saw a flyer. So you got a lot of Virgin Islands people online, you know. You don't want them to vote for you?
Well, you know something that's quite interesting, DJ Marisha? You know that's the movement by the people, and I had nothing to do with that. As the people themselves that went out and they did all of what's required for me to become a candidate to run. It's quite interesting to see that people can go back and realize that the work which was done that's now coming to fruition with facts, based on what I presented over the years, it was hard at times because it invoked some of our own people who were corrupt, felt themselves in areas where they shouldn't have. And when you speak up and speak out on behalf of your community, sometimes your constituents and your constituency looks at it because these are supposed to be upstanding citizens. And you know, in the US, we have two branches of government. Well, we have several categories. We have the local government and we have the federal government. It took the federal government now to come in and start to enact the concerns that I had that us as a local government could have taken care of. Now we find ourselves pretty much down the throat of the federal government with lots of indictments and arrests that will follow or befall upon our past governors, past senators, past commissioners, directors, where we could have handled it ourselves. And the community themselves said that we are not going to leave you on the side because other people are going to grab you up and go with you. And they went out, and it's a fact, because many of the federal agencies are trying to get me to come back into certain circulation and working with them. And they decide that you're ours and we're going to hold on to you. So I want to thank them for having that confidence in me and seeing something of quality. But I'm a straight shooter and a fair shooter when it comes to people like you, Marisha. If I would not be afraid to stand alone like I did in the past when I see things are being done to our people and we know we can do better like you've been doing yourself, DJ Marisha. Despite the party I'm a part of and what I saw going on, I spoke up against my own party because what they were doing is wrong and still wrong. And I still stand firm to correcting the vexing issues. And you've been right in that line as well yourself and seeing, despite for the past several years of you been pushing on your program, the issues that you saw, you brought them to light on your program, you maintain it. And despite the sitting administration, you still are taking a stand to what you see is not right. That is true statesmanship when it comes to the people of which you are concerned for and of, and on behalf of, your voice becomes a beacon of light for them. Same thing on this side. So I want to say to the people who from the Virgin Islands who are listening, I want to thank all those individuals who came together, and the group is big. The numbers is a sea of people. And they said, you will not sit on the side. And they said, in the flyer that they've created, bring Benta back. And what can I say, what can I do, but accept when you're called upon, you never know when you will be called for service, is what you do when you're serving. And I thank each and every one of those individuals and the citizens of the territory of the U.S. Virgin Islands who came forward to push this prestigious and occasion momentous that they're making possible in bringing to light the issues, the facts, and now the solutions which we've had for years, permitted by me on behalf of the people. I thank you. I thank you, DJ Marisha. But I do hope to see you too, Mr. Marisha, that the people of St. Kitts and Nevis realize, even though you may be standing alone, that you still stand on the side of the people for the corrective measures for better St. Kitts and Nevis. I do too. So I'm waiting to hear that the citizens of St. Kitts step up and come forward in supporting a great man who really means well. Even though you live somewhere else, but you move back to do your part, continue to do that because all eyes are on you. And you know, there's a song that they sing in many ways that his eyes is on the sparrow. And at the end of the day, you can be that sparrow, but the people's eyes are now adjusting and focused on you. Thank you.
All right, Brother Benta. Drop that flyer in the thread as well, because I want the folks of the Virgin Islands to take a look at it. What date is the election in the Virgin Islands?
It is November 5th of this year, November 5th. And it's so ironic. The election is November 5th, and being the last person to pull numbers out of the lot, I picked number 5. So November 5th, and I'm number 5 on the ballot, if you want to say. Quite interesting.
Well,
New Day is
Brother
dawning.
Benter,
Yes, my brother.
I want to say good night to the good people here at the Island Purified Water. I want to thank you guys, Brother Powell and company. They're keeping the DJ hydrated when in the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis. And speaking about water, there's a water issue here in St. Kitts that still has not been resolved. And a good citizen reached out to me this morning complaining about not having water in their area to get the kids ready for school and stuff like that. And I told him, I say, you know what, week after week, I've been beating this issue. We have the same problem here in St. Paul's in my constituency. And I said, send me a voice note. Let the people understand that it's not Mauritius just coming complaining. It's the citizens that are reaching out to Mauritius. So let's take a quick listen to this concerned citizen.
DJ Mauritius, I am not bashing the government, but they need to come out and let people know if the country have a problem. Because we never used to get these kind of problems small going up. Somebody will come and say, well, let's turn off water and the message will go on. You know if no water there, where to get water? The tank there on Trinity, you know where you go there go catch water. Or you go up the hill, up by Hazel Mountain, go catch water. There's nowhere to go get water when water gone. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. This is modern days. They need to let people know what's going on if they have a water shortage. Because even when they take off the water and the water come back on, the water is dirty. You're going to bathe your dirty skin with dirty water. You're going to wash your dirty dishes with dirty water. Come on. And then so much sickness going on. What about personal hygiene? The country is getting bad. It's getting out of hand. They have to let people know what is going on. Let people stable themselves. Guys, we got to get water system on we house. We got to start doing like Anguilla them. We got to get generators because come on going anytime. And ain't coming back when you feel like. Nobody saying nothing. Nobody saying nothing. This place is being worn down. Nobody taking care of the facilities. My lovely St. Kitts, I could have boast about everything becoming just as bad as some of the other Caribbeans and maybe even worse. We island is running away. Some of these people is not doing their work. You have to put people in the right places, not people who just care about a dollar. We country going on the drain. We have to do something. Me ain't bashing the government, but they have to find right people to put in the right places. Some of these people maybe they're sabotaging the government. I don't know. DJ Marisha, this is wrong. My heart hurt me this morning because you mean 100%. And to see me children them, I had to call somebody, ask them, Lord, where these children could get water to bathe the skin. They said the school, the water running slow over there, but go and try to get some water. Come on. You have to wake up. You have to wake up. Call a serious meeting, find out what is going on in this country. Everybody is crying out. Everybody, some people doing it silently because yes, it's we party and we don't want to make them look bad, but it's hurting. It's hurting. This is ridiculous. Come on, guys. Do something about this. This is getting out of hand. We ain't had no major storm to say that we country is like this. Lord have mercy upon us. Lord, let's pray for our country.
Yes, my good people, you heard that. Let's pray for our country and let's call on the powers that be to do something about this water situation. And like I said, I'm out of time for this week, but next Wednesday, when I come back here, my mission is to give some updates on the current situation that transpired there with my brother, the Lord Black, went missing from that elderly home there in Sadlers. As you all know, he's now put to rest. There's a lot that has happened, and we I must say, DJ Marisha will not rest until something is put in place to ensure that this situation that happened to Council Edwards don't happen to another citizen. These homes must do the right thing, and the government or whatever agencies that monitor these homes have to do the right thing. So next Wednesday, we will have that conversation outright. And at the end of the day, I know a few people might take offense to the situation, but the reality is that someone went missing on the 1st of August from that elderly home, was found on the 9th of August, deceased. And I ain't hearing no outcry from the communities. I ain't hearing nothing from government. As I said, the Honorable Jeffrey Hanley was the acting prime minister at the time. To date, today is the 4th of September, not a phone call from anyone. I do not know if the family get any phone call from anyone. But I know in situations like these, the government and the entities that are responsible for these institutions has a responsibility to the families. That home should have not been operating still. That home should have been closed pending a thorough investigation. And for whatever reason it's still operating is beyond me. But we're going to deal with that next week, my good people. So in the meantime and between time, again, respect to the Edwards family, and I'm going to drop the unofficial anthem of the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis. This one is called Arise by the late, great King Arrow. The music is sweet, but please listen to the lyrics, my good people.
Let us reintegrate and correct all mistakes. Reunification, building a brand new nation. We move on together hand in hand. Rise, citizens, arise. The country is yours, all yours, still yours. Can your conscience be clear? Indulging corruption or misusing public office, being accused of unemployment and crimes, or disrupting a citizen's peace. Oh, my country in disharmony, separated politically. Hatred for a brother, cannot love each other. No, I say no, potato. Citizens, let's unite and stand up for rights, all our lives and our lives. Let us reintegrate and correct all mistakes. Reunification, building a brand new nation. We move on together hand in hand. So rise, citizens, arise. The country is yours, all yours, still yours.
Yes, that's the sound of the late great the man King Arrow. This country is yours, all yours, my people. As we bid good evening, farewell to you online viewers this evening. Look forward to seeing you here, same place, same time next week. I'm not sure if there's any CPL games next Wednesday. If there are CPL games taking place, we'll be right back here at 5 p.m. If there's no CPL game, we'll be back at 6. Either way, God's Spare Life. We'll be back next week. I'll be definitely giving you some updates on my brother there, the man Lord Black, Hans Edwards, and some initiatives that I have put in place. Again, I want to big up the folks there at the Warners One Stop in Bird Rock for the sponsorship of this program this evening. Also, the good folks over there, Jeff Freights and Sons Enterprises, for your continued support. Remember, my good people, support businesses that supports you.